What do you mean don't bring my tithes? The Bible said I can't accept that. So you go, well, why is my finances attacked? I pay my tithes, God, and your word says in Malachi 3 that if I pay my tithes, you'll pour out a blessing. Yeah, but I couldn't accept it because you had aught against your brother. That's deep. I can't accept your worship. I can't change your circumstance. I can't change the atmosphere by which you enter into when you come to church. Why? Because you're still ticked off at your whoever. You're still bitter that he left you. You've never dealt with that, and you've never brought it to the feet of God, and you've never, so much so that's all you focus on. He wasn't after your marriage, he was after your worship, and guess what? It worked. We're in a war for our worship. We're in a war for our worship with technology. I am in a war for my worship with technology. I'm talking about worship so deep that it makes you forget what you've done wrong and how in the situation that got you where you're at. I'm not talking about, oh, just at the end, I wish Erica would have sang that song just a little bit longer. I might have got my breakthrough. I almost forgot that I was mad at the person that was standing next to me. And then when I raised my hands, they touched me. How dare they? And we laugh, but this is what the enemy is stealing from us, and why. I had a friend one time that asked me, he said, I want to share a word with you that God shared with me, and I stole it, and I've used it a couple times over the years, but he said, we live in Tornado Alley, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, so when a tornado rips through a neighborhood, does it ask permission, or is it limited to where it can go? No. Does it only rip through poverty-stricken neighborhoods, or does it also sometimes get the upper class neighborhoods? I said, well, I guess it rips through all neighborhoods. It doesn't really care. He said, it moves around, it breaks stuff. I said, yeah. And he said, tell me, what is the one thing that controls where that tornado goes? I'm not a meteorologist. They don't even know. And he said, the atmosphere. I said, yeah. And he said something profound. He said, so the atmosphere has the power to change landscape. The atmosphere by which worship creates has the ability to change the atmosphere of the circumstance that you're going through. Satan wasn't after Job's donkeys. What's he going to do with a bunch of donkeys? He wasn't after his employees. He wasn't after his pastor. He's not after your church members. He don't care. He's after your worship. So I have a question to ask you this morning. How long has it been since you've been so consumed in worship that you forgot you were broke? How long has it been since you've been so lost in worship that you didn't know who was in the church? You didn't even know if church was still going on anymore. How long has it been? How long has it been since you got so consumed with worship that you forgot about what time church was supposed to get out? Let me talk to myself. How long has it been since you've been so consumed in worship that you forgot that you wanted tacos today after church? Well, that boy, man, I ain't going to get a table. You better hurry up, preacher. I mean, we done did 3 songs at the start of service. Can't I just slip out right now? My watch is talking to me. He said, which one? Which service you slipping out of? We only do one here, Siri. Sorry. Don't think I'm not preaching to myself today. Leaders, how long's it been since you got so consumed in worship that you forgot about your position? How long has it been? And I cried talking to Jeff over there on the front row this morning. I said, how long has it been, Jeff, since we got so consumed with worship that I forgot about all the things and all the people that were trying to draw from me today, that I forgot about my position and I focused more on my posture? How long's it been? I talked to Jeff, and I'm not knocking him because I do it too. I can't remember the last time. It's hard for me to worship in here because I'm like, oh, if I don't go say hi to so-and-so, or what if somebody comes to the prayer line? I responded about 3 weeks ago. I responded to my own altar call when I preached about rejection. And I couldn't even really focus on what God was trying to do in my life because I was too worried about what if somebody came up and didn't get prayed for. God asked me last night, and I started crying. He said, how long has it been since you worried more about your posture than you did your position? And I said, God, I don't know. I don't know. He said, because you were in a war that you didn't know you were in. You weren't in a war with leadership. You weren't in a war. You weren't even in a war against necessarily the battles the devil was putting in front of you. Those were just a distraction. And some point, without you realizing it, he stole your worship. And you had good intentions, and you were just, bless God, trying to just tough it out and hold your position because the church needed you, and we did. But more than that, you were created to worship, and God deserves your worship. We have church burnout, and I've gone through it myself, and if at times in this season I struggle with it. Why? Because we get distracted with the things that need to be done instead of the God that needs to be worshiped. Because if I'm honest, it's been a while for me. Church, we're at war. We're at war with culture. We're at war with society. We're at war with technology. We're at war with busyness. We're at war with our own personal performance. We're at war with our own convictions. How many times when the Spirit of God falls and you have to convince yourself that you're worthy to come up there and experience what's going on in the altar? Why? Because the enemy stole your worship. Can I get the worship team? We're at war. It's stealing our ability to focus on the one thing that matters the most, our adoration and our honor. And if we're honest, we've all experienced this place in our lives where we knew we needed to worship, but we couldn't connect with him like we once could. I can't even go to another church because I start looking around at how they do everything. Every now and then during conference, I'll try to sneak into Victory because my kids go to Victory, and I'm too worried about what kind of lights they've got, what are they doing. I'm worried about, we need to do what they did. They made me feel really welcome when we come in the door, so I need to talk to Jeanette and her team because we need to change some things because they do this, and we need to do that, and I'm constantly analyzing because I'm trying to make our ministry better, and before I know it, the service is over, and I have no idea what they sang or what they preached. Why? Because an opportunity for me to get ministered to and filled back up has now turned into a moment where I got distracted and I lost my worship. I lost my opportunity. So you know what I have to do to worship? I have to go out in the middle of the night, or I have to go out away from everything. I have to go away from everybody. I have to turn all the lights off. Sometimes I'll get in the shower and turn all the lights off. Like, that's really weird. Yeah. But if I'm a man. If I see a light bulb out, I go, oh man, when I get out of the shower, I need to fix that light bulb. And I'm thinking about, I have to shut my eyes off. Come on, some of us need to. You say, it's unscriptural to go into total darkness. it's in total darkness that I can experience the light in the most profound ways. I have to turn all the lights off because I know me. I'm a guy and I want to fix stuff and I want to fix people. And I come in with good intentions. I want to come in and I want to fix all of your problems. And I want to dig into why you're going through what you're going through. And I want to try to analyze. And I'm trying to pray. And I'm watching God work on you as I preach. And I'm trying to get you to the place that God tries to get you to. And meanwhile, like happened a few weeks ago, God's trying to use my own preaching to speak to me. Can I tell you, half the sermons I preach are to me. I miss my opportunity and my worship gets stolen. And that's just part of the position. I'm not complaining, but if it's happening to me. I used to be on the worship team. I was a terrible singer. Who sang with me? Raina sang with me. Jess sang with me. And I asked one time, I said, why y'all got me up here making a fool out of me? You know we on live stream, and then that one time, what was that one? Rick was up here. Rick's out working security this morning. Rick was up here, and I was fine as long as they let me harmonize and kind of try to sneak my voice in with everybody else's. But that one time, the Spirit of God fell, and they wanted me to do my own part. I was like, oh, Lord Jesus. Yeah, you remember what I'm talking about. I about ran off the stage. It's like, oh, my gosh. Why do you have me up here? So because people need to see a worshiper. And I'm here confessing to you this morning, guys, I used to be the most passionate worshiper, and somewhere along the way, little by little, the enemy stole my worship. And I worshiped God in my bed last night with tears rolling down my eyes and my pillow half wet, and there was no music. I didn't have to set some churchy atmosphere. I didn't have to say anything. I just, for the first time in a very long time, if I'm honest, I put all the positions aside. I put all of my worrying about where you're at in your life aside. I put the worrying of the working of the service aside. And the first time in a long time, I truly gave him every bit of me. And I cry right now thinking about it because most of us are in the room, and just like Job, we're people of integrity, and we're good people, and we shun evil, and we do everything that's right, and God, but we still are a little bit unfulfilled, and we serve in the children's department, and we're ushers, and we make sure the pastor needs has what he needs, and we lead worship, and we do all these things, and we get so caught up in how we sound. We have one of the most phenomenal worship teams that I've ever been around. Hold on. You think it's next level here, you should see it during practice. We have several people that come and just sit during practice. Why? Because there's just a different level of worship. I talked to Jay about it. Because we've performed so long that we don't know how to not perform anymore. We've tried to pull out of you so long that we don't know how to pour out of ourselves anymore. And I'm not saying that about the worship team. I'm saying that about me. I'm just saying, God asked me last night, when's the last time that you just got consumed with worship? And admittedly enough, I can't remember. Because I'm worried about this and that. I'm worried about what will people think if the pastor responds to his own altar call? That's weird. I'm trying to maintain my integrity. I can't tell somebody I'm struggling. I'm on the board of the church. How am I going to admit that I got a problem with this? I'm a pillar in the community. What are people going to think if I just get broken in the altar and truly give him my worship? I'll try it at home. tell you that the landscape around you may show that you are surrounded, that there's no way that you are not worthy. The mountain's too big, the valley's too wide, the landscape may seem insurmountable, but the atmosphere you place yourself in has the power to remove the biggest of obstacles and the tallest of mountains. And he doesn't need your perfectness. He doesn't need. I was raised where integrity is a big part of the core of who I am. God didn't need Job's integrity. Let me get deep for a second. Job's wife did not need his integrity. You know what Job's wife needed? Job's wife needed to see that he would worship God in the middle of his struggle and lead their home back to restoration. You're in a war for your worship. And the atmosphere doesn't ask permission, it just begins to move things. It doesn't ask what you've been through, it doesn't ask for your resume, it does what the atmosphere does, it changes the landscape of your life. And here we are worried about when I worship, when I feel the Spirit of God, what do I say? Nothing. What if I don't know the words to the song? It's okay. Why is worship so important? One, it was what you were created to do, but why does God need or want you to worship? Because worship is the only thing God cannot give himself. Because to worship something, you have to worship something that is higher than you. There's nothing higher than God. I'm not talking about praise. I'm talking about worship. Praise is reactive to something he did. Worship is interactive. Worship is just falling at his feet and going, God, here I am, and I don't care what people think about me. I'm broken. I don't care what people think about my marriage. I'm going to go talk to the leadership or the pastor. I'm going to get help. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm not going to go hide. I don't care what people think about the position I hold, and I should be in a better place in my life than now. I'm just going to worship you interactively. Because I know if I can just get in your presence. Come on, Peter's very shadow healed people. I said, if I can just get in your presence, it'll change the atmosphere. And the atmosphere will change the landscape. Can I tell you, my faith goes through the roof when I'm in the presence of God. Because when the Spirit of God is not in the room, I wouldn't dare say the things to you that God tells me to say to you. I wouldn't dare do the things that God would have me do. I came to tell you this morning that somewhere along the way, and don't shame yourself out of it, I hope I've come to make you realize this morning that somewhere along the way, many of us, and I'm one of them at times, many of us have gotten so caught up in the battle that we didn't even realize there was a war going on. There's a war for your heart. God doesn't need anything from you other than to just fall at his feet and worship him. He just wants your honor and your adoration. Worship is not singing. Worship is defined as a feeling or expression of reverence for a deity. So worship is any way you express adoration or reverence. I'm going to ask the worship team to sing something, and I just want to give us a moment. And if you can't break through the distractions in the moment, don't worry about it. Keep trying every moment of every day. Keep putting yourself, keep setting an atmosphere, keep getting away from all the things that can distract you. Put your phone in the other room, Rocky. Put it on a charging station in the office or something. Do something, but don't allow any longer. Don't allow sickness to steal your worship. Don't allow worry to steal your worship. Don't allow the fact that you're broke and you have no money steal your worship, because that may be an indicator that you were just worshiping God, trying to get him a reaction out of him. True worship says, if you never do nothing for me again, I'm going to worship you for the day. Take everything I got. Come on, I hate to even say it. I can't imagine what Job is going through in this moment. I cannot imagine losing my children. Forget all the other stuff. The other stuff is just stuff, but I can't imagine losing my children and the one person that believes in me when nobody else believes in me turn against me and say, curse God and die. I can't imagine what this man's going through. But he never lost his worship. And at the end of the book of Job, after God corrects Job for about 4 chapters, I think it is, he says, I didn't realize that I never saw you the way I see you now. And I came to tell you, don't curse the struggle, because the struggle will make you see God in a light that you've never seen him before. And God, and the struggle will create a worship in you that the devil can never steal. And the things that you go through, and the children that you lost, or the marriage that you lost, or the finances you lost, God will restore that back to you. But it's all about how you see him. The devil's after your worship. Don't let him steal it another day. Stand to your feet this morning. Would you guys lead us in something? I'm done.
And I can't resurrect a man with my own hands. Just the mention of your name can raise the dead. So all the glory to the only one who can. Jesus, it's you. Jesus, it's you. I believe the wonder-working God, the wonder-working God. All the miracles I see, too good to not believe. The wonder-working God, and you heal because you love. All the miracles I see, too good to not believe. Too good to not believe. Too good to not believe. All the miracles we see, too good to not believe. Tell me he can't do it. I've seen troubled souls delivered.
I don't really know what to say to end this, to be honest with you. Keep the main thing the main thing. No matter what it looks like, choose to believe that restoration is possible. You have to worship him in a way that is not about his performance. I want to challenge you with something I heard, and I'll probably say it wrong, but I heard somebody, maybe it was, y'all's gonna laugh at me, I think it was on a TikTok actually. It said, think of the most valuable things in your life. And if God took them away, would you still worship him? If God took away your business, if God took your kids, God took your marriage. I say God take, but I meant if by some circumstance the enemy robs those things from you, will you still worship him? Will you worship him if healing doesn't come? Because I think we've gotten so, you know what Job didn't realize? I don't think he ever realized there was a hedge around him. I think we have reasons to worship God that we don't even know. You don't know how many wrecks he's kept your family from having. You may have had one. We had one. That wreck very well could have taken my whole family's lives. But I pray Psalm 91. I pray a hedge of protection over my family every day. I literally put my kids to bed with that scripture. I think you don't even know the thing. You may go through some things, but you don't even know the things that the hedge, that got caught up in the hedge that God put around you. But you're so focused on what did slip through the cracks that you don't worship God for what he's prevented you from. The things that I've been through in my life, I have every excuse to be a narcissistic, terrible leader. I have every excuse to not worry about everybody else's brokenness and just focus on my own. Do I sometimes ask the question, why? Sure. Why did it have to happen like this? Why did the transition of the church have to happen like it did? I don't understand. I don't get it. But I also worship him because I believe there's some things that could have very well led to my demise that got caught in the hedge of protection that God has placed around me. And I could very well be a very different person right now. I could very well not be a preacher right now. I could very well be in a very dark place right now. But at some point, there was a hedge of protection placed around me that I don't even know what it's kept me from. And I don't need to know. I'm going to worship him. And I want to do my best. I'm not going to say I'm never going to fall for this trap again because I'm kind of ignorant. Sometimes I fall for the same trap several times. I'm going to do my best. Whether I'm the best pastor, the best leader, the best preacher, the best friend, the best brother, the best father, the best husband. One thing I want people to know about me is that I had a deep adoration for God. And let all the other chips fall the way they may. Stop trying to protect your integrity, Job. Fall at his feet. It's until you give him all the pieces, he can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, okay? I'm just going to end it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hearing what I feel like God's put on my heart. Thank you for your faithfulness to this church. If you're a first-time visitor, there's this card in the seat back in front of you. I would love to get to know you, connect with you. I hope you guys have a great week. God bless you.